Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Super7's new line of deluxe figures, starting off with the Thundercats, Lion-O. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. All right, here we have a closer look at the package, and I believe that these are exclusive to Target stores currently. So you see the new logo here that says DX Deluxe. We've got the Super7 logo up here in the corner. It says Thundercats, and we just have it on a standard blister card that is not collector friendly. If you're gonna have to like trim this off. I've got the DX logo here on the side, Lion-O Deluxe action figure, Deluxe on the side, and then we have this Content Thundercats Warner Brothers logo there on the bottom, and then here on the back we just have some plain blister card art, and that's part of cutting back that Super7 is doing here. Is not only is it with the figure or the paint apps or the accessories or everything that comes with it, but it's also going to be the packaging. We're going to be getting rid of that Ultimates style deluxe package and going with something that's a little more shelf friendly and consumer friendly, so that when people are walking through the aisles, they can see very clearly what it is without having to pick it up and take the slipcover off. So I think we can see everything he comes with, the claw shield and his Sword of Omens. So let's get him opened up and see how he compares to the very first release. All right, taking a closer look at his few accessories that he comes with. He does come with the claw shield, and I can tell right away that this is not this will not be a very good comparison to the claw shield that we have on the current, or the most well, I would say probably what I would consider the first release of their Thundercats Ultimates figure, Lion-O. You can see that the claw shield is completely different. This was your Ultimates style upgraded version. This is more cartoon accurate, and I believe cartoon and like vintage toy accurate. So I believe that this entire figure is basically like a remake of their cartoon version. It may also be the newly tooled version that was available at San Diego Comic-Con this year with the light up eyes, just without the light up feature. So you can see, compared to the original claw shield, it's significantly smaller, less detailed, but more accurate to the toy and the TV show that we had from before. Also, we have the Sword of Omens. It's cast in this all gray plastic. It has the same Thundercats emblem right there on both sides, looking really nice. And let's see if we can compare it to the first release that I have. It's the same exact sculpt, probably cast in a little cheaper plastic. As you can see, it's a little more see-through than the original. I don't know if that means it's a cheaper plastic or just it's a different plastic, and it doesn't have like this blue metallic shading on the hilt that the original does. So that's all the accessories that he comes with, and as you can see, it does look like it's got a space in there for the hand to fit down in there, probably with the wrist, with the hand disconnected from the figure itself. And taking a look at Lion-O here, just straight out of the package, I am actually really impressed with this figure because I don't have like a cartoon style, toy style version of Lion-O on my shelf. I'm not one to go out and buy like every variant of every version of every figure that's ever come out. I like one really good version of that character. One would say probably like a definitive version of that character to go on my shelf, and then I call it a day. But this is noticeably different from the one that I have. So he definitely has that more cartoon accurate styled head, the sculpt. You still get lots of paint apps on the face with the eyebrows, the eyes, many hits right there inside of the eyes, and then the light color around the eyes and the mouth. The hair looks to be all one color with no shading or any kind of gradients or wash in there at all. It looks like most of the figure is cast in this sort of cream colored plastic. We do have the hits of paint right here on his forearms. Nice clean belt and paint applications around the belt. He does have a plug here, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute, and then finishing up down here at the legs. And if you want to see how he compares, here is the first release of Lion-O that I have on my shelf, and you can see he's just, you know, it's a completely different sculpt. Maybe some of the arm parts could be the same, maybe with less, I don't know. Yeah. No, I do think these are new parts all the way around because there's less muscle definition on the shoulder and the bicep area. There's not this big cutout for the hinge right here. You can see that this had pins. This is pinless down on the legs as well. You can see the chest is like completely different. Of course, the head is. The lower abdomen part, the belt, the trunks, the legs. Yeah, I don't see any reuse here at all. This is an all wholly new tooled figure compared to the original release. This is, I believe, the first release of Lion-O. Might be the second with the updated head. I'm not sure. I don't remember if this is the first or second release of Lion-O. But talking about the little peg here, so the newly tooled version here came with a claw shield that either plugged in or it had a little adapter that you could plug in. I don't know because I didn't buy that figure, but you were able to affix the claw shield to his belt the way that he did in the cartoon. But this doesn't have it. There is no way to affix this to the belt. So this plug is kind of useless. But instead of going in and removing it, they just left it for you to wonder about. But it's not necessary and not needed. But let's see if we can kind of push this in. Yeah, this just holds via tension. And so there's no plug in. There's no peg or anything. It just plugs in and tension just holds it in place. And I think that works very well. I don't have a problem with that at all. So, you know, in that deluxe style line that we're getting a much lower price point at $34.99 for these figures, but you're not getting the extra head, the complement of hands, the various claw shields that could connect or not connect. It's being completely pared down, which people have been asking for a very long time. People have said, if the Super 7 lineup, the Ultimates came with less stuff, less, you know, deluxe style packaging and cost less, that would be a better buy. And I totally agree. I think this whole deluxe line of action figures that Super 7 is going with right now, I think it's brilliant. From their wrappers like Biggie and ODB to the Thundercats to their Transformer offerings. They've got Optimus Prime, Soundwave, and they just released Megatron. And of course, you've got, you know, hopefully this will spread to other lines. I would love to see them do this with G.I. Joe and see the Super 7 G.I. Joe figures hanging on pegs in Target as well. But let's just go over articulation real quick. His head is on a ball joint and can look up and can look down, and it gets a lot of tilt side to side, so that's really cool. The arms can go out and hit that T-pose. Let's see. Ooh, it's really stiff on this arm right here. Ooh, I don't want to, I may have to heat this up because that feels like if I push it, I'm going to break it. But yeah, we can go all the way out and hit the T-pose. No problem. We can go all the way around. We've got the bicep swivel. We have swivel there at the wrist, at the elbow, but let's do this one so you can see, but you're still not going to quite get 90. It does have a swivel there as well. Hinge, vertical hinge, look at that. That's amazing. And swivel at the wrist. We do have a diaphragm joint, which is really nice, so we can move that around and get a lot of bobble going on. We have a full waist rotation, so couple those together. He can bend forward that much, bend back that much. Legs are not on a drop down, but can go forward that far, can go all the way out to the side. Man, it feels like there could be a drop down, but there's not. And then can go back about that far. Has a little bit of that rotation there at the top. Have a hinge at the knee, not quite 90, but almost there. Rotation at the knee. I do like that knee joint. It does kind of hide the knee, but you know, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. No boot swivel, and then rotation and hinge do we have a hinge? Yeah, it's just a really stiff joint. Hinge and rotation down at the foot, no swivel. And that is the articulation. Let's give him his Sword of Omens. And there we go. And then let's give our final thoughts on Deluxe Lion-O. All right, I got to tell you guys, you already know that I love Super7, and if you never had an opportunity to check out my conversation with Brian Flynn and my good buddy Greg, who does Double Jointed with me on Saturdays, definitely check that video out. I'll put a link up right now so you can watch that. I absolutely love Brian and his team and everybody at Super7 and all the products they make because they're remaking my childhood. They're making everything that I loved as a kid, and they're making it the way I wish they would make it when I was a kid, but now as an adult. And I absolutely love it. I love their team, and I love their products. And I love this idea of less deluxe style packaging, less accessories, and a more accessible price point will definitely get me to try out some of their other deluxe offerings that I might have skipped out on, like their music icons. I already collect their Conan line, their Thundercats line, their Silverhawks line. I have a couple of their Joes already. I have more on the way. But yeah, I love this offering. So if you want to go small, you go reaction. You want to go reaction with more articulation and you love Joe's, you've got Reaction Plus. You've got the Deluxe line that is that middle ground between reaction and ultimates. And then you have your ultimates if you want something that is offered with all of the bells and whistles, all the extra paint apps, all the extra hands and accessories and things like that. Super7's got you covered at whatever price point you want to go in on these different franchises that they have licensed to them. So I dig this. I think this is a brilliant move, and I love what they're doing. And Transformers, it definitely got me into their Transformers line. I had never bought one of the Super7 Transformers before, and now I've got one in hand and two on the way. So yeah, I just think this is a brilliant move. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think of Super7 moving to this deluxe style $35 price point, and let me know what you think about it. And is it something that's going to sort of like help you along and maybe give you the opportunity to check out some of their other licenses or maybe some of their ultimate style figures, because you're still getting the same buck, you're still getting the same articulation, you're still getting the same character, just with less stuff and at a more affordable price point. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. Have you picked up any of their deluxe versions, or is it just something that you're just like, whatever, I'm going to skip? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out on Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.